Now, before I jump into this video, I just want to say a huge thank you to all my new subscribers. It really is giving me encouragement to keep going with what I'm doing here. And of course, I also want to say thank you to everyone who is positively engaging with my channel, whether it's from hitting like with my videos or leaving comments, and of course also to those people who have been buying me coffee. I'm so very appreciative of every single one of you. Now, I do have to say, I'm trying my best to respond to all the comments that people are leaving on my videos, but it's hard. There's a lot of comments. So if I miss your comment, please don't feel offended. I'm doing my best to respond to everyone, but I'm pretty certain that I am missing comments along the way. So let's talk about today's video. Now, this one actually kept me awake last night because I was just thinking through things to do with this in my head, and something occurred to me from one of the body-worn camera interviews that was done with Jenn and Stefan. Something that Jenn said that I suddenly realised was wrong. And it goes with her comment of the last time we had her. So I'm going to come back to that though. And first of all, I want to have a look at what Maddie was supposed to be wearing at her party, when she came home and when she left home, because I think these are important things that we need to look at.
Okay. Madeline, Stefan, and myself were in my bedroom.
Okay. At this point in time, do you recall what Madeline was wearing?
I don't know.
Let me ask it a different way. Can you tell me whether or not she was wearing a long-sleeved green sweatshirt and jeans?
Oh, no.
Okay. Would she have kind of been in her bed gear, or do you think she could have still been in the dress that she wore to her birthday celebration?
She would have been in pajamas. I can't recall the exact pajamas, but she would have been in pajamas. She had already, by this point in the evening, she had already showered and changed out of that birthday dress.
So you'll note that this discussion is from the 18th of April. This is that interview where Jenn is supposed to be telling the truth. It's supposed to be the derivative immunity interview. And it seems like the answers here are quite clear. So they ask her what Maddie was wearing. She's like, I can't remember. They're like, well, we'll rephrase that. Was she wearing a green hoodie and trousers? Which is basically, we know what Maddie was found in. And Jenn is quite clear there, no, that's not what she was wearing. Then he asks her if Maddie was wearing her party dress. And Jenn says, no, she would have been wearing her pyjamas. So, according to this, she wasn't in her party dress. She would have been wearing her pyjamas. That's curious. Jenn's saying would have been, not definitively she was wearing her pyjamas. She seems certain that Maddie wasn't wearing her party dress, but she's only would have been in terms of the pyjamas. To me, if you say someone would have been doing something, that's more saying, well, based on past experience, this is what they would have been doing. But that's not giving 100% certainty. Maybe it's just the way she's saying it. Maybe not. But at the same time, she couldn't remember what Maddie was wearing in terms of what pyjamas Maddie was wearing. Which I also found quite interesting, because accounts that I've heard from other people who have lost children is that those final hours that they had with their child are burnt into their brain indelibly. And you keep replaying those moments in your head. So for some reason, Jenn doesn't know what Maddie was wearing. She would have been wearing pyjamas, because that's what Jenn seems to think should have been the case here, but she doesn't know what pyjamas Maddie was wearing. Okay, let's hear what else was said.
Madeline, does she lay out her clothes for school the next day, or is that something she gets in the morning, makes a game time decision like my kid?
Typically, it is a game time decision morning of.
Okay. What about this specific evening? Do you remember anything about it?
Yes. This evening, we had, I had already discussed prior to Stefan coming to visit that he was going to help me take Maddie to school that day. So because I knew that that was what was going to happen that night, I had asked Maddie, pick out your clothes, have everything ready, have your backpack ready, your water bottle, everything you need ready, so that way you could just grab your stuff and head out. It won't be too much of a hassle in the morning. And so she did. She picked out her clothing. I asked her what she was wearing, and she told me what she had picked out. I said, okay, fine.
All right, so she picks it out, but does she physically take it out of somewhere, wherever she stores her clothes, and put it somewhere?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if she took that clothes upstairs with her or anything like that.
All right. So as far, you didn't see them in your room, and did you have the opportunity to kind of see her cubby part of the living room to see if she had put them on her bed or anything like that?
I hadn't seen them.
So essentially, she's saying here that she's kind of clueless as to whether or not Maddie actually got her clothes out and laid them out. Now, she mumbled something that sounded like she might have taken them upstairs with her, but she also didn't look in Maddie's cubby, so she hasn't, according to this, she hasn't laid eyes on what Maddie was wearing. Now, what I find really interesting here is that he didn't ask her, what did Maddie tell you she was wearing? Why do I find that interesting? I mentioned this in another video. In this derivative use interview, there's a lot of things that they don't ask Jenn. And it's my belief that they don't ask her because they're saving those for prosecuting Jenn at a later date. Because if they ask her something that they haven't already discovered for themselves in this interview and she gives them an answer, then it's not admissible in court in terms of if they want to lay charges against her. So all he's asked her is, did Maddie lay her clothes out the night before? And she's like, well, I told her to choose her clothes and lay them out, but I'm not sure if she laid them out. She did tell me what she chose, but he doesn't ask her about what was chosen. So we don't have any definitive answer as to whether the clothes that Maddie was found in were the clothes that she said that she had laid out. I'm not sure how important that is to what I'm talking about here, but I thought it was definitely worth mentioning.
What were kind of her nighttime uniforms? I mean, everybody kind of has their pajamas, but they're not necessarily pajamas. What was her routine nightwear?
She really liked wearing shorts. So she had a few pajama outfits, but she really liked wearing shorts and baggy t-shirts.
Okay.
Now we're still in the same interview when he asks her that question. What is her usual attire for going to bed? Why is he bringing this back up again after he's asked her what Maddie was wearing? Because her having to think about what Maddie would normally wear to bed should have prompted a memory of, oh yeah, now this is what she was wearing that night. Because by asking her what would she normally wear to bed, as she's answering it, she should be visualizing what she's talking about, which should then prompt that memory of this is what she was wearing that night. But it doesn't happen. She just talks in general terms. Like I said, it's my understanding that for parents who lose their children, those final moments spent with your child are indelibly stuck in your brain. I haven't experienced it myself, so I can't say if that is the truth, but I've certainly heard it said on multiple occasions. But I do find it interesting that, particularly given that when Jenn is later on describing what Stefan was wearing the following day, and she seems to have remembered what he was wearing the following day quite easily, but she couldn't remember what bedtime outfit Maddie was wearing, given that she has like a selection of ones that she would normally wear. I don't know. I have questions about that.
When you leave to go pick Madeline up at 2:30, do you take her phone with you?
I do.
And how is it that you come to get her phone to go with you?
At some point in the morning, I was organizing and putting things away, and I walked into her bedroom and I saw her phone on her dresser.
So supposedly she was organising and putting things away and saw Maddie's phone on her dresser. And yet still she's got no idea what pyjamas Maddie was wearing the night before. If she was organising and putting things away, would she have not handled them and put them somewhere? Maybe. I personally don't believe that she was organising and putting things away. And that is another concerning part of her story. But certainly she's saying here that she'd been into Maddie's room. She's claiming to have been organising and putting things away. And yet, no idea what Maddie was wearing in terms of pyjamas. Okay, now what I want to do next is go through images and go through an evidence list to try and figure out what pyjamas Maddie would have been wearing. This is important, and I'll explain why when we get to the end of the video. Now, I realise it's probably as triggering for everybody else looking at this laundry basket and seeing Stearns's boxes hanging over the basket. But for the sake of this video, we need to have a look. So on the left side on the floor, there's something that could maybe be a top, but maybe it could be a pair of shorts. I'm not sure. But that's one possibility in terms of maybe that could have been Maddie's pyjamas. If you look on the bottom on the floor, directly down from the boxer shorts, you can just see Stitch's eye. And I know that's the case because I'll show you that in another photo. Maybe that was her pyjamas, maybe that was a t-shirt or a pair of shorts. Who knows? Let's look closer at this basket. This is important. So this was actually pointed out by Grizzly. In the very bottom of the laundry basket, you can see Maddie's party dress. You can tell that it's a party dress, it's the right colour, and it's got the ruffles and the sort of gathering and stuff. So that looks like it is almost certainly Maddie's party dress in the bottom of that hamper. Now, there's a closer look of the whatever piece of clothing that is with Stitch on it. Could that have been part of her nighttime outfit? Possibly. It certainly gives that impression because it's on there several times. Generally, if it's just a t-shirt, it's just going to be a big logo on the front. So maybe it's a pair of shorts that she wore to bed. Who knows? But let's just keep that in mind for now. Okay, Jen's bathroom. And at the top of the pile there, that looks like a hoodie with Mickey Mouse on it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then on the other side, there's just a bunch of undergarments. There's nothing there that, to me, screams out pyjamas. There's nothing there that seems to me to be obviously something that would have been Maddie's. But at the same time, if, as we are told, she came home from the party and had a shower, then it appears that she's had a shower and put her party dress away in the hamper in her own room. So I would expect there not to be any of her clothes left lying around on the floor in the bathroom. Because if she's collected her party dress, you'd think she had collected everything, right? Now, I actually showed this at different angles in a few previous videos, but basically there is nothing in that upstairs bedroom that would be Maddie's clothing. So there's no clothing upstairs that could have been Maddie's that she discarded at any point in time. Okay, so I want to have a look at the list of evidence to see what was taken from the house and see if that indicates perhaps Maddie's pyjamas or something. Now, most of the things that are on here are in terms of bedding. So there's quite a few sheets, several blankets, but we have, if you work down the list, go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the sixth thing, it says 1 pair of black underwear, 1 pair of black shorts. Go down a bit further, we've got the boxes, we don't want to know about that. Then more blankets, more sheets, mattress protector, more blankets. Keep going down until we get near the bottom and they refer to a blue underwear. And then there's still more sheets and another comforter. Now, I just want to point out, because there's been confusion here, the phone tripod was not found in the upstairs bedroom. That actually came from Maddie's bedroom. That kind of gives food for thought, doesn't it? Now, this is a list of the same evidence, but it just gives you an idea of where everything comes from. So the black underwear came from Maddie's fake bedroom. Likewise, you have a grey shirt, which also came from that same area. And it also refers to the black shorts having come from Maddie's fake bedroom. So they're the pieces of the items of clothing that they took as evidence, basically. Okay, so by this point you're probably thinking, what the heck is she going on about? So it's probably time for me to tie all this together and explain why I've gone through all these things and explain what it was that kept me up all night last night. So I'm going to play the body-worn camera interview from when they collected more evidence from the house. So this was very early in the morning of the 28th of February.
Hey guys, so we're just gonna try to see if we could pull one more clothing for collecting of clothes, okay? That's okay with you guys? Yeah. We're gonna pull one more and then we're gonna have the dog sniff it out again and see if we could get another track going.
So fresh.
Yeah. Alright?
Can I get you like the last outfit she was wearing?
Has it been like with other clothes and all that, like your clothes?
It got mixed in with clean clothes and dirty clothes.
What do you think?
Is it on the floor there in the bathroom?
It's in the laundry basket.
Um,
Were the other clothes not good enough?
No.
we just try to collect separate ones and then we separate all of them, just in case one was contaminated. We have something else we can use without having to come and bother you guys.
I was just thinking on Sunday, the last day we had her, actually we had her Monday, but Sunday, she had a lot of information. So I wasn't sure if that would be helpful with us mixed in with clean and dirty clothes as they...
Is it other people's dirty clothes, or is it
No,
her
just hers.
So some of that's a bit hard to hear, so I'll explain it a little bit. So they're asking her for more clothes for the dogs to use, for the sniffer dogs. And she says the last outfit that she was wearing. She says we've got the last outfit that she was wearing. And she talks about the last time we had her. And she goes on to describe the dress that Maddie was wearing to the party. She even mentions that it was in the laundry hamper. So here, she's saying the last outfit that Maddie was wearing was her party dress. I'm sorry, wouldn't the last outfit that she was wearing actually be her pyjamas? This, to me, is somewhat alarming, especially combined with her saying the last time we had her. Because you have this mother who can't recall what pyjamas her daughter was wearing, even when given prompts by the detectives. She claims to have straightened up the house. Supposedly, Maddie put her blue dress away in the laundry hamper, but the only things they've removed are a pair of black shorts and a grey t-shirt from that room. I would actually guess that those black shorts are the black shorts that Maddie would normally wear to school, which to me would say that they are not her pyjamas, because you're not going to wear your school clothes to bed. Certainly not when you look at how well dressed Maddie is. Jenn might be a crap mother, but that kid knew how to dress herself. So I can't see Maddie being the sort of kid that's going to sleep in the same clothes that she's going to wear to school. So it seems that, yes, there's a grey t-shirt that was retrieved, but there's no comments there on the size of that t-shirt, and we know that there was some of Stefan's clothes in there. Is it Maddie's t-shirt? Is it Stefan's t-shirt? We've not heard anything from Jenn in relation to Maddie's pyjamas. And then she's claiming that the last thing that Maddie wore was her party dress. Which takes me back to something that I had been questioning really early on in the piece, and that is, did something happen even before Jenn got home from work that night? Did something happen while Maddie was still in her party dress? Or was Maddie actually still in her party dress when Jenn sent her off to bed with Stefan? Because you know what it's like when you're a teenager and you get some gorgeous new outfit. You want to wear it as much as possible. And perhaps she wanted to savor the moment and wear the dress right up until when she went to bed. Do we know for certain that she had had a shower and done all that before going to bed? Well, the only witness to that is Stefan. So that's only hearsay. Jenn says that this is what Stefan told her. But Jenn didn't witness Maddie having a shower before going to bed. And her dress wasn't lying on the floor in the bathroom with all that other clothing that looks like it's been gradually building up a pile there over time. Now, I'm really not sure what to think about this. To me, the fact that Jenn really can't say what pyjamas Maddie was wearing, even when prompted about, well, what is her regular outfit, that still wasn't enough to remind her what Maddie would have been wearing. And when she's asked about what Maddie wore in terms of pyjamas, or was wearing that night, she said she would have been. So she wasn't even that definitive over it. And then when asked about clothing for the dogs, she says the last outfit that she was wearing and talks about the dress. Now, maybe I'm way off with this, but it's certainly, when you put it all together, it definitely gives me pause. It makes me stop and question this whole narrative. Now, for those people who seem to be hell-bent on this notion that Jenn killed Maddie herself, I'm just going to say this is not some kind of evidence of saying that Jenn did that. And I don't believe that that was the case. And I think by saying that, you are actually playing up to what a defence team would love in terms of getting that monster off for the crimes that he committed. All the evidence points to Stephen Stearns, but at the same time there seems to be a heck of a lot of lies from Jenn Soto and a heck of a lot of inconsistencies that to me suggest that she may have known what happened that night. Thanks for listening. If you are new, please do subscribe to my channel. Also, hit the like button. YouTube loves that and it gets more people seeing my videos. And please do leave your comments below. What are your thoughts about the discussions here over what Maddie was wearing? Do you think she did actually wear her pyjamas at some point in time? Why are we not hearing a proper description of them? Do you think maybe I'm just overthinking this? Or do you have another theory altogether? Thanks, and I'll catch you in the next one.
I've been good to